What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in, of course. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring the bell if you would like to see the new videos as they come out. Today we're going to cover a topic that is probably the most frequently asked question in driving as far as box trucks for Amazon. How much am I going to make? Okay? I would say the answer to this, it's going to matter depending on what category you're in. Okay, there's three different categories. You're either an owner-operator with an independent LLC. You did your own DOT things and all that, and you're out there and you apply for the Amazon deal, you know, on the load board. Once they approve you and see you got all your paperwork and stuff, you're going to be paid per route that you sign up for on the load board with Amazon, and that will vary depending on, you know, the length of it, of course. Amazon has routes that pay a couple $100 all the way to a couple thousand, depending on how far they are and how many days you're willing to travel in your truck and whatnot. If you're an owner-operator, of course, you could choose to do whatever you want. You know, this week you could run local shit. The next week you might, you know, do a haul that takes you the whole week, and you can go to different stops or whatnot. But if you are going to do that, you have to get your DOT stuff for whatever states you're going to be traveling through and whatnot, you know. So if you're doing local, of course you have your local shit. And if you know, okay, I'm in Illinois and I might travel into Wisconsin, okay, you make sure you're able to go into Wisconsin. But if you would like, I'm pretty sure there's a way where it's just like all, you know, 48 states. And you could just pay one sum and be able to travel freely that way. Of course, there is some fees on bridges and stuff up in New York or whatnot, but long story short, that's up to you how much you make with that. Of course, you're paying for gas expenses, you're paying for your insurance and all your licensing fees. All that's coming out of how much you make daily and monthly, of course, so that could vary. I know a lot of guys that make a shit ton of money, and I know a lot of guys that don't make nothing, and they lose their truck the first month they try it. But a lot of that's going to depend on you, how much time you're putting in, how smart you're being, the condition of your vehicle. Some guys will just sign up to get whatever truck they can get on payments, and then the thing breaks down 5 times their first month, they're out of there. You know, that's obvious. Sorry, it's early and I'm trying to get some coffee in. Okay, so the second category would be if you're an owner-operator, but you're working through a company, they're contracting you as an owner-operator to drive for them, like a logistics company, okay? And this does happen. There's some companies that hire you if you have your own truck, or there's some that lease trucks to you, and then that's gonna depend. I know at the last company I was at, owner-operators who had their own truck got paid $350, I think, per route. Okay, so if that route took you 8 hours, you got $350. Out of that, you probably spent a good $120 at least in gas, maybe less. You know, it's 80 to 120 at least a night, I would say, guaranteed, in diesel fuel. So you got to take that out of there, plus all your insurance and stuff, because I'm pretty sure they don't cover that. So yeah, you'd be paying a lot of fees still, but I think you can drive under their DOT. I'm not even sure though, because I'm not an owner-operator. So the third category, which would be where I fell in and a lot of people fall in, you don't have your truck, you don't have anything, and you get hired through a logistics company. Some companies hire you in per mile or per hour. The company I worked for hired me through as an independent contractor, so I was self-employed, 1099. I had to make sure to take my taxes out and whatnot. I'm sorry for the sunlight. I'd seen that it's been here. And so the guys who obviously are self-employed, the 1099 guys who work for logistics companies, then that varies itself as well too, because different companies will pay you different rates per route. So I know some guys in Joliet and Chicago, okay, they're doing shorter routes and it's taking them only a couple hours. They might do 2 or 3 routes a night. They get $70 per route, and then they'll make anywhere from $70 to $210 a night, and then they got to pay taxes out of that. So A night they make 70, they really probably make like 50. And a night they make 210, they probably make more like 160 or something like that, okay? And yeah, that sounds great and all, but that guy probably drove 12 to 14 hours that night to get that. Anyways, where I worked, the pay varied. When I started off, it was right around $100 to $130 per route. I actually started in the busy season. Anybody who drives Amazon Relay knows, you know, Black Friday, Christmas, all that shit obviously is going to be crazy. Not only do they pay more for the routes, okay, but the logistics company normally pays a little more around that time. I even got a bonus. And then there's more routes, so they're going to have your truck packed every night full. And they might have you going to like as many places as they can, you know, and they'll have more routes for you if you want to run more that night. Like how I was saying, I got paid $100 to $115 a route, but some of these routes took me 10 hours, okay? So when you factor in that I drove 10 hours, okay, I was loading and unloading all this shit, driving through blizzards, some of the most harshest conditions that you would never go out in. Now you're driving a 26,000 pound vehicle on a sheet of ice, okay? That's a whole different situation, and sometimes it doesn't really feel like it's worth what it is, you know, because for $100, after you pay taxes out of that, you get about $79, okay? And so $79 a night to drive 10 hours in a blizzard isn't necessarily the best money in the world. But see, they're paying you and not deducting taxes. So when you get these checks and they're $1,200, $1,400 checks, you're like, man, hell yeah, this is like the best job I've ever had. And even when you pay taxes out of it, it's still, I mean, about $450, $500 a week. When you work about 5 or 6 days a week, I would say, after taxes, which for a lot of people is decent money. But I live in Illinois, for instance, okay? Right now, minimum wage is $11 an hour, okay? My old lady, she works at a gas station. She makes $11 an hour. She worked 36 hours and made $100 less than me one week. And it had me sitting there thinking, because I worked 6 days that week at 10 hours a piece. That's 60-hour week, okay? She worked 36 hours, which is almost half the time, and got almost the same amount of money. When I broke it down, I'm just making barely more than minimum wage right now. And for most people, that's not right. Now, does the rate change? Yeah. I know other companies pay more than $100 and $130, you know. I talked to one guy one time. His job paid him $150 per route for about the same routes as I had, anywhere from 8 to 10 hours, sometimes 6 hours or whatever. Sometimes you'll even get lucky, you know, and you'll get like a 2-hour route that'll pay $100 for companies like that. The problem is they always have favorites, okay? And the company that I was working at, the dispatcher, the lady who made the routes and everything for everybody, her husband happened to be a driver. Go figure. And guess who got all the good routes? Her husband. Wonder why that was. Anyways, he would get, you know, maybe 2 or 3 of these 2-hour routes, and he would make $200 or $300 a night in the same amount of time it took me to make my $100. So you can make a lot of money in this, or you could be the average guy making the average money. Even if I wanted to get 0 sleep and spend 0 time with my family, I could go out there and do 2 of them routes a day. I bet I could get it done in, I don't know, 16 hours or less. I would be driving at least 14 to 15 hours a day, I bet, and I could do 2 routes a day, which is like $200 to maybe $260. But it just wasn't worth it to me. I'd rather be the guy who makes, you know, $450 a week, and I spend as much time as I possibly can with my family, and I get rest, you know, because as a lot of you know, it's not easy to sleep during the day and shit. And when you do it a long time in a row, you know, there's a lot of times I go to work where I only get 3 hours of sleep or so, and it feels like a normal day to me. But when you do that so many days in a row, you know, a lot of these companies, they want you to work 6 days minimum, 7 days if you can. Please work 7 days, but if you just, you know, put your foot down, they'll only give you 1 to 2 days off if you're lucky. I could only get 1 day off myself. Anytime I told them I wanted to work only like 5 days a week, they looked at me like I was a jerk or something. But that's just the cold, hard truth of this business. I know I'm rambling on. I always ramble on, but the good thing is the Amazon Relay videos, you guys don't mind if I ramble on. It's 10 minutes of straight facts from somebody who's done it for a long time, and I'm good at it. I swear to you. Some people say this and that. I had a rough night, blah, blah, blah. Well, I tell you what, the rough nights make the person, because after you have a couple rough nights, you ain't scared no more, and you know how to handle yourself in them situations. But so I only posted one video. That was honestly a video I made maybe 6 months ago. It never let me upload it at the time. There was an issue with some of the music I had playing in the background. And I don't know why I never went through the process of editing it or anything, because at the time I was discouraged and I wasn't really posting to YouTube anymore, so I just didn't care. But yeah, for you guys who don't know, it wasn't my first day at Amazon just the other day. So I've been doing this quite a while. If anybody has any questions about Amazon Relay, feel free to ask me. As far as the people at Amazon, if you're thinking about doing it, I love the people at Amazon, but I tell you what, the people who wrap them pallets are the biggest assholes in that place, because there's some of them guys that they're tired, you know, it's 3 in the morning, they're wrapping pallets, they do a shitty job. Well, guess who that falls on? The driver, because you're going to be tipping pallets and everything. But don't let me stray too far from the topic. That was basically the hard facts of how much you're going to make at Amazon Relay. Feel free to message me with any comments or questions. I'll be I'll be available to answer any questions. Feel free to like and subscribe, and come back in the future for... Alright guys, feel free to like and subscribe and ring that bell, and come back next time to find out more about Amazon Relay.